Welcome to Season 4, Episode 7 of the 5-Minute LinkedIn Marketer. My name is Karen Hollenbach, and today we're going to take a look at my recommended LinkedIn marketing planning framework. Now, this is a bit of a back to basics episode. However, for long-term listeners of this podcast or people who consider themselves to already be good LinkedIn marketers, do tune in because I think it'll be a great refresh for you too. So having trained LinkedIn for over 12 years now, what I started to see over time when I first put together, that was the reason why I put together my LinkedIn marketing mentoring program, was this theme of the regular questions people ask me around LinkedIn marketing. And so in developing this framework, it helped people understand the foundations that you need to build from a strategic perspective and then a focus on rituals. So let's get into it and I'll talk you through this framework. The 5 components of LinkedIn marketing planning include: number 1, LinkedIn profile strategy; number 2, LinkedIn company page strategy; number 3, networking and sales rituals when on LinkedIn; number 4, marketing and content rituals when on LinkedIn, both from the profile and company page as relevant for your organization; and number 5, measuring success on LinkedIn with the analytics available via your profile, your company page, as well as your Google Analytics. Now, what I find interesting whenever I train someone in LinkedIn, marketing especially, is this desire to want to talk about what to post, when to post, and algorithm hacks. And while being active and posting, both from the profile and from the company page, is an essential part of your success with LinkedIn marketing, importantly, my framework does not tackle marketing and content rituals, so the implementation of your marketing plan for LinkedIn, until module 4. And sometimes people find that frustrating when I first talk to them about my approach to LinkedIn. And once they start to dive in to their LinkedIn profile strategy and their LinkedIn company page strategy, which does ask them to think about what their primary or cornerstone content will be and what their content pillars will be. Once they dive into that, they appreciate why they need to really tackle the strategy element. Why are they there? What are they trying to do? What are their goals? Before they dive into what they initially thought was the most important part of how they navigated LinkedIn. So let's have a look at the LinkedIn profile strategy. And with this component, it's really going to depend on the size of your organization, how you approach your LinkedIn profile strategy. And it will also depend on the number of connections that you have versus the number of company page followers that you have. And that's especially true if you're a coach, consultant, or B2B service provider. And finally, it will also depend for more medium sized organizations or larger organizations. The LinkedIn profile strategy will really be very dependent on your client facing team members and the leaders of your organization's comfort with navigating LinkedIn. So the LinkedIn profile strategy is where I begin, but it's very organizational size and leader and team member capacity and comfort with LinkedIn dependent. So in my LinkedIn marketing mentoring program, I have a series of questions that I get people to document to develop their LinkedIn profile strategy, and I do the same for the LinkedIn company page strategy. So when we start to look at the second component, which is the LinkedIn company page strategy, I look at it from this point of view. I recommend everyone has a LinkedIn company page, and it's a must-have, even if it's just as a directory. And that's more relevant if you're a sole trader and you want to be active on LinkedIn. So at the very least, you need to have the company page to get your logo on your LinkedIn profile. If posting, so you can decide, and for larger organisations, of course, they're going to post regularly from their company page. The consideration with the company page strategy is thinking about the ideal clients who they serve or wish to influence, or the community members and stakeholders they wish to influence on LinkedIn. And then it's considering the content pillars and your goals for LinkedIn. So when we dive deeply into this with our consulting for larger organisations, which is not part of my LinkedIn marketing mentoring program, but it is if we are training and consulting to organisations who want to develop this strategic LinkedIn content marketing framework, we offer 6 potential goals that you can achieve with LinkedIn. And then we ask stakeholders to decide 3, which is always a really interesting exercise to get stakeholders to agree what the top 3 are. And we then write the LinkedIn strategic content marketing framework, which predominantly focuses on the company page strategy. And really, it comes down to, when we move into implementation, both with the networking and sales rituals and the marketing and content rituals, when you're thinking about your LinkedIn company page strategy, you need to be thinking as much about, well, what are we posting and who are we trying to influence and what are our goals? And of those 6 goals that Think Bespoke and Karen recommends, which ones are our top 3? You also need to be thinking about, well, who's the custodian for the company page strategy? Sometimes it sits within people and culture. Sometimes it sits within strategic communications or corporate relations, and other times it can sit with the marketing resource. It's going to depend, again, on the size of your organisation, the way you're structured, and what your capacity is, whether you have dedicated resource looking at this, being responsible for this, or this is a new horizon for your organisation. So you're starting to really work through this. So often we will be asked by organisations to share what is best practice. So the third consideration in LinkedIn marketing planning framework is your networking and sales rituals. And this is really the domain of how you're going to expand your connections via your LinkedIn profile, as well as how you're going to grow your followers to your company page. And if there's already a large following to your company page, we really like to look at the mix of followers. Are they at the right seniority level? Are they coming from the right industry? Is the mix made up from the right geographic location? So there's lots of low-hanging fruit within the concepts that we share in the networking and sales rituals. So you've got your profile views. So from a LinkedIn profile perspective, you've got your profile views, you've got your followers, if you've activated creator mode, you've got the analytics associated with people engaging with your content, you've got messaging, and if you've activated the LinkedIn newsletter and published a LinkedIn newsletter, you've also got subscribers. And similarly with the company page, in terms of the low-hanging fruit, you've got followers, you've got looking at the metrics with who's engaging with your content, you've got the lead gen form, and again, if you've created the LinkedIn newsletter via the company page this time, you've got the low-hanging fruit of the subscribers who have decided to subscribe to your LinkedIn newsletter via your company page. So the fourth focus are the marketing and content rituals for LinkedIn. And I explained to you at the start that this is sometimes a frustration for people, that I don't recommend this is really a focus until the LinkedIn profile strategy, the company page strategy, and the networking and sales rituals are embedded. And that's because you need to build the foundations, have a clear focus for your goals for LinkedIn, and have roles and responsibilities ultimately allocated to who's going to be, cherry picking or harvesting the low-hanging fruit that exists on LinkedIn via your profile and your company page. So when you're thinking about the marketing and content rituals, the key consideration is, what content are you already producing via owned digital assets such as your website, blog, potentially company newsletters, free webinars, podcasts, white papers, etc. And what can you repurpose on LinkedIn? So within the profile and company page strategy, you would have looked at your content pillars. With your marketing and content rituals, you need to start looking at your content mix, your posts per week, the type of content, any third-party scheduling tools, and really moving into that roles and responsibilities. So who will be creating the content, who will be curating the content, who will be posting or scheduling, who will be the community manager for the company page. If you've got your strategic comms team managing some of your leaders' profiles, what is the internal protocol around approval of content, and then reviewing the analytics of that content. So you can see within the marketing and content rituals, it's really where it all comes to life. And finally, there's measuring success. So if you've done the work with your profile strategy and your company page strategy, you've decided your goals, you know what you're going after, you've got your disciplined rituals with your networking and sales and your marketing and content, the analysis of your profile and page analytics is a wonderful way to have that full circle moment of having a look at, well, this is what we thought would be effective, this is what we thought our community and the people who we're trying to influence on LinkedIn wanted to engage with, but the proof is really in engagement rates, click-through rates, etc. And there's lots of free analytics, especially via the company page, that can inform and should be informing your future content planning. So there you have it. That's the framework, the 5 key areas I think you need to focus on if you're new to LinkedIn marketing. Start out as you mean to go. Develop your LinkedIn profile and your company page strategy. Embed your networking and sales rituals to make sure you are harvesting the low-hanging fruit that exists in the information that can come through from your profile and your company page. Make sure with your marketing and content rituals you've got a clear content plan, a documented both annual focus, content pillars, and also analytics. Make sure that you are circling back on a regular basis and managing that conversation with your stakeholders to work out what's working, what's not, and how can you use this information to inform your LinkedIn marketing. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review and share this podcast with your friends and colleagues. If you'd like to learn more about how to leverage LinkedIn, I'd love to be your guide. Sign up to my e-insights, my monthly newsletter that's packed with LinkedIn tips, thought starters, and exclusive subscriber offers. If you're just starting out on your LinkedIn journey, I'm so glad you've found me, and I recommend you check out my LinkedIn Profile Essentials online course. If you want to be the go-to for your organization's LinkedIn presence, I recommend you check out my LinkedIn Marketing Mentoring Program.